My mother-in-law demanded $17,000 for plastic surgery and threatened to destroy my marriage when I said no. Hi, I'm Blake. I'm 30. And last month, my mother-in-law showed up at my office trying to extort me over plastic surgery. And when I said no, she tried to ruin my marriage. Instead, she blew up her own life. It started with a late-night text. We need to talk. Urgent. Don't tell my daughter. That was red flag number 1. Red flag number 2? She showed up the next morning carrying a leather folder like she was closing escrow, sat down at the cafe table, and without even ordering a coffee said, I need $17,000. I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. She wanted work done face, neck, lipo. I deserve to feel beautiful, she said. I blinked. Why are you telling me this? Because you're paying for it. She said it like it was a fact, like she'd already withdrawn the funds. Then she leaned in close and dropped the real bomb. If you don't, she said, I'll make sure my daughter sees who you really are. A selfish man who doesn't value family. I know exactly what to say to make her doubt you. I didn't even finish my coffee. Just sat there while this woman who once cried when I proposed to her daughter told me she'd destroy my marriage over cosmetic surgery. I went home, said nothing to my wife at first. I wanted to see if she was bluffing. She wasn't. That night the threats began. Time is running out. Choose wisely. One conversation is all it takes to plant doubt. I screenshotted everything. When the deadline passed, she called. I said no. She hung up with, You just made the biggest mistake of your marriage. Next morning, my wife picks up her phone during breakfast. Puts it on speaker. It's her mom. Honey, we need to talk about your husband. He's been acting strange. Secretive. Have you noticed? What are you talking about? My wife asked. Just watch him. Pay attention. I'm worried. I let her finish. Then I told my wife everything. Showed her the texts, the threats. Watched her face shift through confusion, disbelief, rage. She called her mom. Put it on speaker. Did you threaten my husband? Long pause. What? I don't know what he told you, but... Did you demand $17,000 and say you'd turn me against him if he didn't pay? Even longer pause. You're twisting things. I asked for help with a medical procedure. It's cosmetic, Mom. And you threatened him. If you choose him over me, you'll regret it. Mark my words. My wife went cold. Is that another threat? Click. Call ended. But that was just part 1. She didn't just back off. She escalated. By nightfall, we were both getting texts. To my wife. You're choosing him over your own mother. Hope you can live with that. To me. You've poisoned her against me. This isn't over. My wife blocked her. I didn't. I kept documenting just in case. Then her dad called. He's usually the quiet one, the fixer of leaky faucets, the guy who avoids drama like it's airborne. But that night he sounded hollow. What's going on? He asked. I told him. The demand, the threats, all of it. He didn't speak for a solid 10 seconds. Then, finally. She asked you for how much? 15 grand. For a facelift? Yup. Jesus. He sighed so loud I could picture him rubbing his forehead. She told me you were being disrespectful. That you were cruel to her. She left out the blackmail part. I forwarded him the screenshots. He called back less than 10 minutes later. I don't even know what to say. I'm embarrassed. You didn't do anything wrong. Still, this isn't going to end quietly. Understatement of the year. Because then her sister called. Mom says you're refusing to help her with a medical emergency. My wife was sitting next to me, drinking tea. She snorted. Medical emergency? She wants her neck tighter. That's not emergency, it's ego. Her sister blinked. Wait. She demanded my husband pay for surgery and threatened to blow up your marriage if he said no? Got the text if you want to see. Silence. Then, I'm staying way out of this. Smart woman. But word spread. And with it came the backlash. Some relatives were supportive. Others? Judgy as hell. My wife's grandmother was the worst. You're disrespecting your mother over money? You think you're too good for us now? She tried to blackmail my husband. That's not blackmail. That's family asking for help. She hung up on Grandma. The next escalation? A full-on house visit. Her mom showed up at our door, ringing the bell like she was trying to win a prize for persistence. When we didn't answer, she started yelling. This is about money. You're destroying this family. I recorded everything on our ring cam. When she finally left, she taped a note to the door. You've made your choice. Don't come crying to me when you need me. You're dead to me until you fix this. My wife got home, read it, and just stared. Well, she said, at least she's clear. But it wasn't over. We had a wedding to attend. Her cousins. And her mom would be there. The wedding was like stepping into a minefield in formal wear. My wife wore navy and steel in her spine. I wore a tie I didn't like and a smile that felt borrowed. Her mom sat on the opposite side of the aisle, surrounded by relatives who kept glancing at us like we were scandalous tabloid figures. The kind with a headline that ends in, and then they sued each other. During dinner, her mom made the rounds. Whispered conversations. Pointed glances. And then came the ambush. Her aunt approached our table, holding a champagne flute and a facial expression that said, "Brace yourself. So there's family drama? You think?" She says you're refusing to help her with her medical care. My wife didn't even pause between bites. It's cosmetic, not medical. And she threatened to ruin our marriage if we didn't pay for her facelift. The aunt blinked. Oh. That's not what she said. Bet it's not. After the wedding, the real bomb dropped. Her mom created a group chat. 20+ relatives. The subject line was Family Truth Time. She wrote, "I want everyone to know what's happening. My daughter and her husband value money over family. They've abandoned me in my time of need. Please know what kind of people they really are." My wife stared at the phone like it had grown teeth. Then she typed one line. "Anyone who wants the actual story, with screenshots of the threats and blackmail, can DM me. Otherwise, I'm done defending myself against lies." 3 people messaged her within 5 minutes. She sent them everything. 2 apologized. 1 said, "We were still wrong. You can't win everyone." But then her sister called again. Voice hushed, like she was in a bathroom stall at work. "You won't believe this. Mom's been asking everyone for money. Different stories for different people. Told Grandma it's medical. Told Aunt Renee it's for a high school reunion. Told me Dad refused to help her and she's desperate. How much has she gotten? $3,000 maybe? Not enough. She's furious. Keeps calling everyone cheap. And then, like clockwork, her dad called. She's been dipping into our retirement account," he said. $5,000 so far. When I confronted her, she said she deserved it. That she's earned it putting up with me. Dad, that's not just sneaky. That's theft. There's more," he said quietly. She opened a credit card in both our names. Already racked up $2,000. All for surgery-related stuff. My wife looked pale. "That's financial abuse." "I know," he said, voice flat. "I'm handling it. Just thought you should know in case she tries to blame you." That night, my wife just sat on the edge of the bed. She stole from my dad, for a facelift. But we weren't at the bottom yet. Because then her mom's best friend called. And that is when everything really went nuclear. The call came in just after 9 p.m. My wife answered on speaker because, at this point, every conversation felt like it needed a court reporter. It was her mom's best friend, Carla. They'd known each other for 20 years. Matching wine glasses and baby shower photos to prove it. "I need to talk to you about your mother," she said. My wife sighed. "If this is about the surgery, it's worse." That got her attention. "She's been telling people things. About you. About your husband." My chest tightened. "What kind of things?" "That he's abusive. That you're trapped. That she's trying to save you." Silence. "What?" my wife said, her voice suddenly sharp. "She's telling people you're brainwashed. That you're covering for him. And this is the part that made me call. She's showing people a photo of bruises. On someone's arm. Says it's yours. Says he did it." My wife stood up so fast the chair screeched. "I what? I don't even have bruises." "I know. That's why I'm calling. I saw the picture. It's not you. Either she faked it or used someone else's photo, but she's showing it around. At the salon. At book club. 6 people, maybe more." I took the phone. "This is the abusive husband. Do you know exactly who she's shown it to?" "I have names. I'll text them." After the call, my wife sat on the bed, shaking. No tears this time. Just full-body tremors like her nervous system had shorted. She's lying about abuse, over a facelift. I didn't say anything. Just sat beside her, let her lean her head against my shoulder. The next morning, we made a decision. We were done playing defense. It was time to go public with everything. We spent the whole day building a timeline. A digital scrapbook of hell. Every text. Every threat. The blackmail messages. The fake bruise claim. Even the listing of names Carla texted over. We included a note at the top. We're not asking for sides. We're showing the truth. And we're done letting lies control the story. We sent it first to her dad. He called immediately. Send this to everyone. She's gone too far. So we did. Group chat. 20 people. Siblings, close cousins, grandparents, the whole crew. My wife attached the timeline. No dramatic intro. Just, this is what actually happened. Decide for yourselves. But I'm done letting my mother lie about my husband. The responses came fast. Her sister. Holy crap. I didn't know it was this bad. Her aunt. Your mother's always been dramatic, but this is insane. Her uncle. We support you both. And then, because no family drama is complete without denial, her grandmother. This is out of context. You're making your mother look bad. My wife replied, calm and clipped. She made herself look bad. I just kept the receipts. But the best response came from her cousin. Your mom asked me for money 3 times. Different stories every time. Now it makes sense. She's a scammer. The tide shifted that day. Her mother? Silent. But not for long. 3 days of silence. That's how long it lasted. We almost thought she'd finally run out of steam. Then my wife got a text. You've humiliated me. Made me look like a monster. I'll never forgive you. My wife didn't flinch. She just typed back. You did this to yourself, Mom. All I did was tell the truth. No reply. Her dad called later that day. I've moved our money. Separate account, my name only. Cancelled the credit card. She's furious, but she can scream all she wants. She's not spending another dime of my retirement on cheekbones. How are you doing? My wife asked. A pause. Tired. 32 years and I'm just tired. He was starting therapy solo. She's coming too. He added dryly. But only because she thinks the therapist will take her side. She's gonna love what objectivity looks like. Turned out she didn't. According to him, she lasted 2 sessions. Spent the first blaming everyone. The second trying to convince the therapist she was a victim of emotional neglect. The therapist had asked one question that apparently made her walk out. Why is the surgery more important than your daughter's trust? Boom. Next update? She'd found a cheaper clinic. $8,000. Started selling her jewelry to cover the difference. Then cried to anyone who'd listen about how no one loved her enough to help. Cue the smallest violin. My wife's sister called again, this time with a confession. I've been replaying so many conversations with Mom. You know what I realized? This isn't new. The guilt, the manipulation, it was just quieter when the stakes were small. Yeah, my wife said. I'm finally seeing the full pattern. And then just when we thought things couldn't escalate further, my mother-in-law showed up at my office. Got past reception. Past security. Walked right into my cubicle like she worked there. We need to talk. I stood up so fast I knocked over a paperclip holder. Outside, I said. Now. In the lobby, she crossed her arms. You turned my daughter against me. No, I said. You did that. I just showed her the receipts. She tilted her head. I thought you'd show compassion. For blackmail? It wasn't blackmail. She snapped. I pulled out my phone, still had the folder of screenshots open. Held it up between us. Want me to read them out loud? Here, in the building lobby? Her face flushed deep red. Not blush rage. You're horrible. Because I wouldn't give you $17,000 for a facelift? Because you chose money over family. No, I said. You did. You chose a cosmetic procedure over your relationship with your daughter. She looked like she wanted to slap me. Instead, she spun on her heels and stormed out. Later that afternoon, security emailed me. She's been added to our restricted list. If she returns, we'll call the police. Great. One less pop-in threat. Then the social media posts began. Bandage selfies. Caption. Finally putting myself first. You can't wait for others to love you. You have to love yourself. My wife scrolled through the carousel. She's playing Survivor. She muttered. Let her. But the comments were spicy. Didn't your daughter used to support you? Thought your son-in-law was helping? She didn't answer a single one. Because she had a new plan now. A recovery party. A recovery party. She actually sent out digital invites. Come celebrate a new beginning. Light refreshments, positive vibes only. No toxic energy allowed. Translation? No daughter, no son-in-law, and no one who dares mention blackmail. We weren't invited. Obviously. But people talk. Especially bored suburbanites with wine spritzes. Her sister went. Texted us immediately after. That was the saddest, most uncomfortable 2 hours of my life. She kept giving speeches about how much she sacrificed. Talked about beauty, betrayal, spiritual rebirth. People just ate cake and left. No one stayed past 9. Her mom kept floating around, repeating the phrase. I had to do this alone. No one supported me. But I rose anyway. She acted like she climbed Everest. The next week was my wife's birthday. First one without her mom in the picture. I braced for impact. Bought extra tissues. Planned a backup dinner in case she needed to cry into ravioli. But she surprised me. You know what's weird? She said, blowing out candles on a small cake with actual friends around us. I don't miss her. I miss the idea of her. The mom I wanted her to be. But the drama? The guilt? The manipulation? Don't miss that at all. That's healthy, I said. Is it? She's still my mom. She also tried to extort your husband and faked abuse claims. Being related doesn't make that okay. She nodded slowly. I guess I finally get that. Her dad came to the dinner. Her sister too. Everyone brought something homemade. There was zero tension, just laughter, good food, and one particularly vicious round of Cards Against Humanity that made her dad snort Pinot Noir out his nose. Best gift of the night. Meanwhile, her mother was still sulking in her Botox tower. According to her dad, the results of her surgery were underwhelming. Too subtle, she'd said. She wanted something more dramatic, he told us. Now she's already talking about revision surgery. Another $6,000. We both stared at him. You're not paying for that, right? He looked at us like we just insulted his cat. I told her she's on her own. I'm not enabling any more of this. It was like watching a spine regrow in real time. He even got his own checking account, changed his passwords, and started going to therapy without her. I'm not leaving, he said. But I'm not giving her access to my wallet or my sanity anymore. A few days later, she tried to guilt him with a post. Being alone during recovery teaches you who truly cares. Most comments were generic. A few clearly didn't buy it. Didn't you say your daughter abandoned you? Why? Why wouldn't your family be there? She ignored them all. Went quiet again. And then, in a final grasp for control, she sent a letter. To my wife. Handwritten. Fancy stationery. Gold trim. First line? As your primary caregiver, I am shocked and hurt that you would. My wife didn't even finish reading it. She threw it in the trash. I never asked her to be my caregiver, she muttered. She gave herself that title and now wants payment for the role. That was the moment I knew. Knew she'd crossed some invisible, final line. This wasn't just fallout anymore. This was a full-blown exodus. From that day forward, something shifted. My wife stopped flinching every time her phone buzzed. She no longer checked family group chats like she was bracing for an ambush. It was like a spell had broken, one guilt trip at a time. Her mom? Still tried. Oh, did she try? She sent a Venmo request titled, Emotional Damages. $100. We declined. She sent it again with a crying emoji. Declined. Then came the envelope. A typed letter, legal tone, but laughable content. Your hostile actions have caused me measurable emotional distress. I am formally requesting a ceasefire and appropriate compensation. My wife took a photo of it, filed it under, LOL, on her phone, and moved on with her day. But the real kicker? She relists the surgery fund. On GoFundMe. That's right. She made a campaign called Second Chance at Confidence, complete with before and after photos, dramatic lighting, and a story that read like she'd barely survived a war, not a discounted cosmetic procedure in a strip mall. It got $62. All from strangers. Meanwhile, her dad was thriving. He started a woodworking class. Made a coat rack. Called to brag about it. He also finally blocked her on Facebook. She tagged me in a post about betrayal, he said. That was the last straw. Welcome to the Boundary Club. I told him. At work, I kept getting the same question from coworkers who knew bits and pieces of the drama. Dude, are you okay? And weirdly, I was. For the first time in months. Because here's what no one tells you about surviving chaos: the silence afterward feels like a superpower. One Saturday morning, my wife got a message from a name she didn't recognize. A young woman. Salon regular. She wrote, "Hey. I saw the photo your mom was showing around. I knew it wasn't you. Just wanted you to know some of us didn't buy it. Also, she said some things about your husband that didn't sit right." It felt off. My wife read it twice. Then passed me the phone without saying anything. It didn't hit right away. But when it did, I just sat down. Floored. She tried to convince strangers I was abusive. I said quietly. And some of them didn't believe her. "That matters," she said. "That really matters." We responded. Thanked the girl. Told her she was brave. Because she was. The next week, her mom made one last attempt. Another group message, this time to extended relatives. "I am officially disowning my daughter for her betrayal. She has chosen outsiders over blood. When she comes crawling back, don't say I didn't warn you." My wife rolled her eyes. Crawling back? I haven't even thought about her in days. That night, we had dinner on the porch. Just us, a couple friends, and her dad, who brought over a homemade bench he'd crafted poorly, adorably crooked. She looked around the table, smiling. "You know what this is?" she said. "This is the first time I felt like I have a real family. Even with your mom out of the picture?" She looked at me, dead serious. "Especially with my mom out of the picture. But just when we thought the dust had settled? She showed up one last time. At our house. It was a Tuesday. Nothing fancy. I'd just finished mowing the lawn. My wife was inside folding laundry. A podcast playing in the background. Ordinary, domestic peace. Then the doorbell rang. I checked the Ring camera and nearly laughed out loud. There she was, my mother-in-law. In full recovery glam mode. Sunglasses, wide-brimmed hat, fresh filler shine. Looking like she was ready to hand out flyers for her own reality show. My wife froze when I told her. "No," she said. "Nope. I'm not doing this." I nodded. "I'll handle it." I stepped outside, closed the door behind me. She didn't smile. "You've destroyed everything." "Hi, nice to see you too." She waved a hand, dramatic. "You turned my daughter into a cold stranger. You ripped this family apart." I folded my arms. "You tried to blackmail me. Lied about abuse. Stole money. Faked medical urgency. That's not family. That's a soap opera. You think you're better than us. No. I think I have boundaries. And it turns out they work." She stepped closer. "You'll regret this. One day, you'll need something. And there won't be anyone left. I've got everything I need," I said. "A wife who trusts me. A father-in-law who finally gets to breathe. And a doorbell camera that's about to record your exit." She stared. Fuming. You could practically hear her filler pulsing with rage. "You think you've won?" She spat. "There's no winning here," I said. "There's just not playing anymore." She shook her head, turned, and walked away, but not before throwing a pamphlet at my feet. It was for her revision surgery fundraiser. I left it there for the wind. Later that night, my wife and I sat on the couch, quiet. Her head on my shoulder. The house felt still, like a snow globe after the flakes settle. "I think that was her goodbye," she said softly. "You okay?" She took a breath. "I'm done mourning someone who was never going to be who I needed. I don't hate her. I just finally believe she's not coming back. At least not the version I hoped for." I nodded. And then, something even stranger happened. She laughed. Not a bitter laugh. A light one. "She threw a fundraiser flyer at you?" "Yup. That is so on brand, it's almost comforting." The next day, her dad stopped by. Brought sandwiches and showed us his latest project, a handmade toolbox. "This is what I'm doing now," he said. "Fixing things I can actually fix." We toasted with lemonade. Talked about nothing. Listened to birds. The silence wasn't empty anymore. It was earned. Weeks passed. No texts. No doorbell drama. Just silence. Real silence, the kind that means someone finally gave up, not just paused. Her mom posted vague quotes online. "Healing alone. My light is too bright for some. Fine." Meanwhile, her dad got into birdwatching. Started saying boundaries, like he invented the word. We settled into calm. Unfamiliar but good. One evening, my wife looked over at me and said, I don't miss her. Not the real her. I miss who I thought she could be. That was the grief leaving her face. Then came one last stunt, a bruise photo. Obviously fake. Found via reverse image search in 3 seconds. Captioned, abuse isn't always obvious. My wife didn't rage. Didn't cry. She just typed, stop using lies to justify losing access. We're done. And blocked her. No explosion. No dramatic showdown. Just a boundary, held. That night, we ate dinner on the porch. Her dad brought pie. My wife laughed with her whole body for the first time in months. She looked at me and said, she wanted to destroy us. I squeezed her hand. She gave us peace instead. And that was that. No revenge. No applause. Just freedom. And that's more than enough.